Welcome to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny. That is Dan, and that is Dylan. I almost said Sal, but he's not here.
Nope. He doesn't watch this garbage. Well, not garbage
This
anymore.
one isn't garbage. This is good.
No, it's not.
It's not made by CW. So let's talk about the last two episodes and the finale. Let's just talk about the season as a whole. Why not? This is over. This is it. Last episode of Superman in Review. Loved it. I loved this show. I really, really did. The tone was great. The cinematography was great. The villain was great. They actually went through, I want to say, like 3 complete arcs. It was very well paced, very well acted, very well put together. I love this show. I definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to watch it. You guys?
Strong agree. Like, honestly, as we've said many times in the videos, the first couple episodes were a little harder to get into, but overall of the DC superhero TV shows I've watched, this is probably one of the best. I love Legends, don't get me wrong, but that one I love because of the humor and like that kind of aspect that they do. But in terms of superhero show, I think Superman and Lois has probably done one of the best jobs I've seen since probably early Arrow and early Flash.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this show. I think it kind of, unfortunately, at least for me, like I think everyone agrees that those first like 5 episodes are not great. But like these last 3, I think also aren't great. It really just kind of seems like the studio ordered 15 episodes and they only had 12. Well, they really only had like 9 because the first few, like that whole Kilgrave episode 4, whichever one it was just like not needed. Until I guess Jonathan uses a weapon from Kilgrave, so that's why that episode needed to exist. But I don't know. It's if we're talking specifically about like the 2, episode 14 and 15, the 2 finale episodes, I thought they were fine. But as a whole, yeah, I really enjoy the show. I think the main takeaway for me from these last 2 episodes are Superman and Steel. Their like little fighting relationship when they're fighting together is so cute. I love them together. I think they're
great. The dynamic between those 2 actors is incredible. I really do agree.
It's really good.
One of my favorite scenes was when Steel throws the hammer and the lady's like, "Oh, you missed," and it just clobbers the one next to Lois. Like, boom!
It's like, what a fun setup, by the way. Good. Like, you could see that coming from a mile away, but just a fun like playing with the stuff that they've set up in previous episodes, which is what the show has been really good at. Which is why I am interested in like, a few years or whatever when like we're on season 4 and I go back and watch season 1. I'd be interested to see if those earlier episodes do get better. I doubt it, but at least with context, they might be something.
I actually disagree with you on 14 and 15 being felt like they were tacked on. I felt like the reason that I don't know what your direct issues with them were. The issue that I had with them was that it was primarily focused on just making sure that we had the fight. We had the fight sequences happening. We had to have Steel and Superman being awesome, fighting another character that could fight against them, and losing. I always get the 2 mixed up. Jonathan and Jordan. That's right. I knew it was a J and I couldn't place it. I'm like, it's not Jonathan. It's not John and John. All right, John 1 and John 2. Let's go. My only issue with that is the Jordan being taken over. I expected to be like a season 2 or 3 thing where he would actually be turning evil. This just felt like we need to get the Superman fight going. We need to, just like the movies ended with the battle with Zod and taking out the city, and just like Batman v Superman ended up with Superman fighting Doomsday, Superman has all his power. We need the fights. He has to fight the Eradicator. He has to fight somebody. And how would that not be a 10-minute sequence? Put his kid in it. Like, that's what it felt like to me. Like, yeah, I guess you're right. They were just stretching it out. They could have ended the battle with just Morgan Edge showing up and we just fight it out. But I liked it. I liked the way they handled it and the way they stretched it out. It didn't feel too tacked on. I guess the only complaint I would have is with the last 3 total, you were kind of know where it's going to go. I don't really.
Right.
I don't think it's going to surprise me.
They're telling the story they already told, just again, with bigger stakes, which is, the show ended at episode 12 when they locked Edge away. They did not have to have him escape. They did not have to have him turn into the Eradicator.
They even had the big fight already, which I thought was really epic back in 12. So they even had that big superhero fight.
Right. And like that's where you end the season, and that's where you end the season in a way that has loose ends. Like, and that I'm sure we'll get to this, but when we're talking about like what's in season 2, but the show kind of doesn't have any loose ends at this point, which is not a criticism. It's just like it's strange, especially for a CW show where like by the time you're at the finale, you don't care anymore. You're just waiting for the next season.
Yeah. But see, that's just it. It's not a CW show. And if this is hope for what we're going to get with HBO Max shows that are being filmed by HBO Max and put on CW, I actually am excited for the Green Lantern now, and even the Barbara Gordon show. Because if you're going to give me seasons that mostly conclude so I can just enjoy them and it's over, and I'm not sitting here like, oh, okay, what's going to happen next with Barry and Iris? The only cliffhanger was his daughter coming back, and and that's not even technically a cliffhanger. That could just be a reward. Oh, Steele suffered the most. Oh, his daughter survived. And if the show gets a second season, we'll explore that. And if it doesn't, his daughter survived. Like,
If it doesn't, you just go into Premiere and you chop off the last minute of the episode, and then it's fine. Like you ended it. I'm gonna go talk to my sister, and then cut that weird shit out, and then it's a complete arc.
I did feel like when she landed, that was very CW. Like that was almost like the CW getting their hands in the pot, being like, all right, so we need more family dynamic. We want we really want to have a lot of like brother, sister, son, daughter like thing going on here, and we need a cliffhanger. So can you give us that?
Fair.
Yeah, no, I'll agree. I felt like it wrapped up a little too much without any like loose ends for us to lead into the second season, because like what Dylan brought up a great point. The last 2 episodes honestly feel like that could have been a season of Edge escaping, becoming the Eradicator, Jordan getting captured and turned into it, and then them fighting over that. That felt like it could have been its own entire season.
That would have been a great season 4 or 5. Like later on,
exactly,
we just find out
I don't
Edge
want
escaped.
that personally.
Why not?
Because it would just show it turn into the Flash, where it's just we get Reverse Flash for 3 seasons in a row.
And that actually was my concern with the fact that there were no loose ends at the end of this, was that, I don't know where they're going to go from here. And it kind of creates a little too much freedom for them that we might start going, okay, now you're going a little too obscure into some weird thing, and we're going to get, what was it, Killzor? I can't even remember the guy's name. No, the one that Bendis created just randomly that...
Oh, like, Rogal Zar?
Rogal Zar, yeah. Like something random out of the blue that has like nothing really to do with much of it. That's what I'm kind of hoping we do not get on this next season, because then they will have jumped the gun, and then it's like, okay, well, where do you go from here? So I haven't read anything into season 2, so I don't know if they've planned or announced anything about it. But that, when the way that this season wrapped up, it did make me a little nervous that we were going to that the future seasons might not be as good, because they've lost that core bit of the show, because there's no problems. They're out of Metropolis. There's nothing to do. Like, there's no crazy thing happening in Smallville. Whereas if they had just left it with the Morgan Edge like absorbing himself, you'd go, okay, we know what we're going to look for there.
Well, I mean, Morgan Edge isn't gone though, is he? Did I miss something? Because like he's just like,
he's
you
not
had a
dead.
family. Yeah, like so he's
not
still there.
Dead, but
Yeah. So
That's the
kind
thing,
of
is that the
reckon-
season, the finale ends the same way that it did 3 episodes ago, and
He's
that's
back in jail, right? Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
That's like my concern. Like they didn't, unless I missed some minutia when Steele was talking about the hammer thing. Like I don't know if that depowered him. I know it was made of red sun or whatever, but like red sun, as far as I know, is not a permanent effect. They didn't
it's not.
Avatar take his powers away from him. They just hit him with a hammer real hard. So I mean, but
there's
I
minor
don't
things,
want
though.
Edge to come back. So
Well,
I'm
well,
fine if this is it.
But like, I mean, there's a couple things they could easily do. Jor-El's out of the picture now. So where's Superman going to get his advice? That's a whole thing we could explore.
I mean, there's obviously stuff that they can do. Like,
yeah, the mother was still around. Remember, they could pull her into a crystal and just put her in there. I don't think they killed Morgan Edge's dad, did they? The crystal? I don't think he died.
Well, he was just like a dude. Well, I don't know. Yeah, the
honestly,
crystal. I
that
don't
was
remember.
so. That was kind of like an off-panel thing where I feel like they make it seem like he got destroyed, but they're probably going to bring him back later.
So we got Emperor Palpatine still.
Yeah.
We're still exploring Jordan's abilities. That's a whole thing we can go deeper into in the next season. We still don't have John with abilities. And that's been implied that he actually has something going on there. So
Yeah.
So that's gonna be good.
I want to give props to this show because something that Benny, you, me, and Sal were dogging on in the first episode was that we know that at some point Jonathan's gonna get powers in like a dire moment, and there have been so many opportunities for them to do that throughout this season, and they haven't. Good on you for not doing that.
I thought they were gonna do it when he was in the RV. And like the
Yeah.
defenses came up, I'm like, that's it. He's gonna fly out. He's gonna
Right.
He's not. Oh God, he's gonna die. The Jordan saying "I love you" to the girl. I don't know where that's gonna go. I hope nowhere because I really want them to stay on Superman Lois.
Right.
I thought that was a little bit too soon, but then I remembered they're teenagers.
Yeah,
I
And
thought
a lot
the
of their
same thing.
actions can be excused by them being
I just thought that was
teenagers.
hilarious. Like Edge grabs him. I love you. Like what?
And then, I guess I totally forgot that they did meet like years ago when they were younger.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
But because they bring that up in this episode as well in the finale. But you know, I like them together. I think they're cute. I think that's a fun relationship. That like it doesn't bother me like a lot of like teen relationships shoved into superhero shows sometimes can be a bit like, why are we doing this? But this show has clearly put its foot down that it's about family and it's about relationships.
Yep.
And you know, honestly, it's sold me. I'm on board.
Anyway, I think overall, I do like. There's not much more to say other than I loved it because nothing. You are right. Nothing really happened in these last two episodes, but more fighting. That's basically
Right.
it. And then it just resolved it. General Lane retired. I love that actor as General Lane. I was expecting to at some point start hating him because he was going to go evil. No, I love him. He's doing a great job. I do like the setup they kind of have for the second season. If we're going in that direction, I'd like some explanation to the daughter, but that would be season 2 stuff. So
Right.
that was the only thing I found a bit weird. Like it felt like, okay, we're about to go to the credits and daughter. Like what?
Which also, they were all very calm for a giant ship crashing towards them and not even trying to like stop it or anything. Thought that was a little bizarre, but you know what? That's just me, I guess.
He X-rayed it as it was coming.
He was like, it'll stop a little bit in front of us. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, it that was definitely the cliffhanger that is, and maybe they're implying more that they just kind of failed to do, because like if the daughter's alive, that I guess implies that his Steele's universe is fine, like there's still some kind of resistance and she didn't die. So maybe that Lois is alive as well somehow. Like there's so much that they can do. Like I would never. That's why I don't want it to come across as a criticism that there's not a lot of loose ends, because there clearly are. There's just not like, you know, like Gorilla Grodd didn't just show up at the end. Like there's nothing insane that's like, this is season 2.
That would have
which I think honestly is like a
hilarious.
good thing.
They're just saying, "What? Do you guys hear that? Just a giant gorilla Grodd just
what's up?
launches inward."
And it's the CG from the Flash show too. It's not. They didn't
Right.
even go with the higher budget HBO CG. It was
Yeah.
that
Just took
CG.
that model.
Yeah, overall though, I loved it. I thought it was a great show. I loved this whole season. Definitely my favorite of the CW/HBO Max shows. I mean, the problem is, yes, it was made by HBO. It's still airing on CW. Same thing with Stargirl. Stargirl is a much higher production. Looks a lot better. Plays out a lot better. It's not made by CW. But WB has a stake in CW. I think they own them. I think they own either a portion, because it used to be the WB channel. That's what it was.
It's probably under some giant single
Yeah.
corporation.
But I definitely recommend this show. Definitely my favorite, and I recommend the whole season. Even the lackluster episodes, it all pays off. It all pays off. So
Yeah. If you don't want to sit through that, just skip to episode 5 and you'll probably be... There's really not a whole lot that you miss.
here, I'll catch you up real quick if you want to do that. Is Superman, there's Lois. They have 2 kids, Jordan and John. Jordan has powers, but he also has social anxiety. Boom. Enjoy episode 5.
There you go.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Oh, and there's a girl they both like. But Jordan, I think at that point's with her, so it's fine. All right, yeah. I'm Benny. That is Dan. That is Dylan. And we are absolutely Marvel NBC. And we'll see you next time right here at the channel.